Hello, everyone, and welcome to WHIP Sports Radio. My name is Jake Holzhauer alongside Patty Heckard, and this is the first stream of the semester. It is Temple Owls taking on Monmouth. Now, Patty, please break down this matchup for us.
Well, it'll be my pleasure. Thank you for having me. This Monmouth team is not an unfamiliar foe for Temple men's soccer. These two teams faced off at the beginning of last season to a 0-0 draw, and both have a unique circumstance going on for them right now. So Temple, this past season, had lost their top goal scorer and top assister in one player, Felix Ewald, now at West Virginia University. And on top of that, for Monmouth, they lost their top goal scorer as well, putting in 12 goals last season, and his name, I gotta remember, there we go, Ben Zakowski. He left last season. He's now in the USL, and Temple's gonna need to find, well, hopefully this season is gonna have to find those goals missing from Felix Ewald, but we'll also see how Monmouth does without that high goal tally from Ben Zakowski.
Temple is undefeated so far this year. Who are a couple of players or player that help that or make that happen, I should say?
Well, I mean, obviously we got to go with the AAC Offensive Player of the Week, Xavier Rimple. Coming off the last two games, he has a goal and 2 assists, which already matches his goal and assist tally from last season, with
impressive.
Significantly more playing time. So he's got a great amount of time to smash that record out of the park for himself.
Amazing. And then are there any players on Monmouth that we should watch out for this season?
For Monmouth, I mean, there's a few. As far as goal scorers, Jason Bozzini. Right now, they're only one game into their season. They had a 4-0 win against Fairfield last week. They had 2 goals from Jason Bozzini, as well as 2 assists. Well, assist from Eric Reese and 2 assists from Jacob Friedman. So there are a few names to look out for this game. It'll be interesting to see how they play. I mean, a 0-0 game last year. A lot of shots, but not many on target. Temple had 10 shots, 2 on target. Monmouth with 13, 3 on target. So we'll see how much these two teams differ from their matchup last year.
Awesome. As the kickoff is underway here in Philadelphia, Monmouth controlling the ball here in their possession. Now, another thing that I want to get into, Patty, real quick is I look at this Temple Owls roster, and there's only a handful of graduate and really upperclassmen. Do you think that has anything to bring to the table and offer for Temple this semester?
Well, I mean, experience always matters, and having some of these players that have been here for a while, like Kamali Green, for example, I mean, I think that does wonders for you. And, I mean, with a fair amount of graduate students from or graduates, seniors, fifth years, I think that's going to work out a lot in Temple's favor.
And the ball here now is in Temple territory as they look to be controlling the ball right now, as that is already a penalty for Monmouth. Now, I'm looking at this team. There's only, it looks like 3 graduates here for Temple. Those are, of course, Andrew Kemp, the goalkeeper, Kamali Green, like you said before, and Flannan Riley, another goalkeeper. So a lot of experience for the goalkeepers here for Temple. Temple now with possession in Monmouth territory. A shot taken here is no good. That is blocked by a defender over on Monmouth's side. As now Monmouth on a breakaway here, going into Temple territory. The shot is blocked by a Temple defender, as that results in a Temple defender laying on his butt.
We got a high-paced game already starting off. I mean, back and forth just early on in the second minute, going from one box to the other. It's going to be interesting to see how Temple deals with this, see if they want to try and control the tempo or kind of feed off this kind of hectic chaos going on in the game so far.
And looking at the Monmouth's roster here, I mean, we were saying before that skill definitely or experience does matter, and I'm seeing junior, senior, junior, senior. Do you think that'll have a big impact going into this one?
For Monmouth?
Yes, for Monmouth,
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, of course. I mean, last season, definitely had a lot better finish than Temple. Temple finished off 3-8-4 on the year. 3 wins, 8 losses, 4 draws, and this Monmouth team finished 8-4-6 last year. I mean, there's always the question of competition between the two teams and their previous opponents. However, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. Not too many big losses from Monmouth last season as far as frequent starters. I mean, we mentioned Ben Zakowski, but I mean, not a lot of change in this lineup. So it'll be interesting to see. Definitely a lot of experienced players on this Monmouth team. Temple have a little bit of an integration as far as their sophomores and juniors in this lineup, like Rocco Hoyf-Gluckner and Elias Betancourt. So we'll see how it fares out for the both of them.
So consistent lineup here for Monmouth. Definitely two teams that are on two different sort of levels when it comes to their roster. As Patty was going on that rant, we had a great defensive play from the Owls and their defensive territory where they were able to push and force an out of bounds that went their way to hopefully save a possession and a score from Monmouth. Temple now with possession in their territory, controlling onto the ball. And I think a key thing that will definitely help either team with the different experience levels is you want Temple to control the ball. Am I correct in saying that?
I mean, it varies per team. A lot of teams, I mean, most teams favor having heavy possession. It means that you're in control for most of the game. But for other teams that can't really take advantage of that possession, maybe they don't have the players to kind of maximize that play style, they'll look for a more counterattack, kind of fast-paced move, sending people long. So, I mean, it varies per team. So we'll see what Temple do to face off this Monmouth team. So far, it seems like a lot of fast-paced counterattacks seem to be the way to go.
Awesome. So Monmouth here, goalkeeper kicking it our way, actually. And that is ending up in the stands. So we had a chance. Patty, you didn't go get that one?
No, I'm not going to catch that. My goalkeeping days are behind me.
You were a goalkeeper?
I was. That was my, not a lot of fond memories in that. But yeah, freshman on JV doesn't work out too well. But,
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Fun fact about me, I played exactly 1 year of soccer when I was 4 years old, and I quit.
Nice.
I was
Real dedicated.
I was afraid of the ball hitting my head.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the point in some.
That's why I chose
baseball.
Header. That's why I chose baseball instead, because I did not want to get hit in the head with the ball.
I feel like you got a better chance in baseball, but
this is true. But when we were doing drills, we had to hit the ball on our heads. We had to practice headers, and I got scared.
All right.
I was a little 4-year-old baby, so I definitely did not like it.
Well, hey, to each their own.
And I remember, like, my mom, like, was, like, with my boss's, like, she was trying to get me to interact with her boss's daughter, which were the same age. So she stuck with football or soccer and kept soccer up until high school, and I dropped that immediately.
Hey.
Temple with possession of the ball, crossing inside, save from Monmouth goalkeeper. And Patty, do you know anything about Monmouth's goalkeeper?
I do not.
Okay, interesting. So let's definitely go find that out. I believe it is
Eric Dymora.
Yep, redshirt junior Eric Dymora with a nice save there from Clifton, New Jersey. So not traveling too far to go to Monmouth. As they kicked it out of bounds, it will become Temple's possession around half court.
Half court.
Full disclosure to everyone here, I do not know soccer very well. Patty is here to help me with that. And half court is definitely a term I'll use and try to change. What would you call it? Half field?
Midfield?
Midfield? Okay, cool. Midfield. Learning on the fly here. But it seems like possession-wise, it is back and forth so far. Very quick opportunities for both teams.
Yeah, Temple seems to be working it down the line for the most part. I mean, as far as building it, they're definitely trying to build it out of the back a little bit, going through up and down the defensive line. But those crosses and those long runs down the sideline seem to be their main method of attack tonight. Hasn't worked out too well. I mean, they did just get that shot off with Aaron Markowitz, which, I mean, pretty good start so far within 7 minutes. So we'll see if Monmouth can make a stop to it, if Temple want to change up their game plan a little bit. But so far, looking so good for Temple.
Right now, it is in Temple's territory, though, as we say that. Monmouth with possession of the ball, going inside, close to the goalkeeper, into the box, as the Monmouth player is trying very hard to gain or keep possession there, and a Temple defender did a very good job of kicking that out.
I'll tell you what, great 1-2 between the two Monmouth attackers there. Very fortunate for Temple defense to get it out as a throw-in rather than a corner. Definitely limiting Monmouth and their chances early on.
And that's huge in the soccer game, as that's a great cross save for the goalkeeper, Kempe. And that's a huge difference, correct? Oh, sorry, Riley Flannan. Flannan Riley.
There you go.
Not sure, both graduate seniors, so they both have a very good amount, a good chance of getting even playing time.
Yeah, both of them did share about the same amount of playing time last season. One of them got an extra game on the other, but both with a lot of experience here, and Monmouth's breaking here.
Great save from Riley there to beat Monmouth to the ball. Now, back to what I was about to say. A corner and a throw-in. Is there a big difference strategy-wise between those two?
Very much. I mean, throw-in, you're very limited to the power in your cross.
As that is a shot from Temple getting blocked by a defender, and Monmouth just trying to get it out of the box. Monmouth doing a great job there. Go ahead, Patty.
Throw-in, I mean, as far as strategical issue there, we got a play stoppage to ref interference there. But as far as play time and play stoppage, or getting mixed to my points here, but throw-in, I mean, corners are just irreplaceable. You can't really compare them to to throw-ins.
Okay.
I mean, especially when you get it out down that close to the corner.
So it is a big game changer depending on which one.
Very. I mean, especially for the Temple defense there, being able to get it out in such a tight scenario like that. I mean, a few inches or a few feet outside of the goalie's box. So great job by the Temple defense there.
And sorry for the score bug. The score bug is hopefully fixed now. It was stuck on pregame, had to refresh it, and now it is not stuck on pregame. Although it does keep moving around, so we're going to go ahead and fix that as best we can. But Monmouth now in Temple territory. Is that a corner or is it a throw-in? Let's see here.
That's going to be a throw-in.
Yep, it is a throw-in from number 11 for Monmouth. And
Bastion Hatcher.
Bastion Hatcher throwing it in here for Monmouth. Monmouth now taking their time, bringing it into the box. Great save to not let it go out of bounds, but he actually does not save it.
Calling it offsides there. Lucky call for Temple there. It looks like number 28, Jason Bettini, as I was talking in the pregame.
And that was a very, very slim margin there on offsides. There was very close to being a Temple player there.
Yeah, a few feet, just missed it a little bit.
But that is what happens.
Ruining a great opportunity.
That is what happens with soccer as well. It's a game of inches when it comes to offsides calls.
And that is true. And I mean, we're not in the Premier League. There's no VAR and there's no automatic offside system.
Ref
so
usually has final say here in college soccer, should I say? Not to say football. They call it over there in Europe.
They do love their football.
As Temple now breaking away into Monmouth territory, but Monmouth is able to kick it out. And Patty, I do have a question here. Is there a specific term that it means to, like, say, cross it to the other side when defending?
Well, there's a few definitions. I mean, if we want to get if this is just a cross just to get rid of it, we usually say boot it. Getting rid of it.
What about
clearing it out?
What about cherry bomb? I heard that was a
cherry bomb.
That was a big thing when I was in elementary school. Does that make it up here at all?
I'm pretty sure that's just a game.
Okay, really? How would you describe cherry bomb? Because for me, that's punting the ball.
I couldn't describe cherry bomb because I've never heard of that.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I guess that's a Pennsylvania, like Bucks County thing, which is where I'm from.
I mean, I'm from Pennsylvania. I've never heard of that.
Interesting. Okay, I guess that was just a weird my city thing.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's Bucks Go.
Monmouth there, the goalkeeper kicking it out of bounds around midfield this time, I'll say.
There you go.
And Temple now with possession, but Monmouth just cleared it. Is clear a good
Yeah, clearing it out.
Okay, awesome. They cleared it to midfield once again, and Temple now with possession of the ball here in their territory, passing it around, trying to rack up those minutes for time possession.
Yeah, I mean, really just, right here, what you're seeing, they're building up from the back. They're trying to, they're going back between their two center backs, trying to see if one of their players can make an open run. And I mean, this going back and forth between the defenders, it's really just kind of flicking through their options, resetting every single time, and hopefully some will come about, but we got a little bit of build-up now in the midfield, moved it out the back.
And that's exactly what's happening. When they're passing between those two defenders, are they just basically trying to see what's open and then execute that game plan?
Yes, they are. And
there's a breakaway now here for Monmouth, but great job on the Temple defender to be able to race ahead and match with him. As now Monmouth still with possession, but not as good a possession as they would have got. Corner here for number 28, that is Bottini, the one that Patty was talking about earlier. As Temple, great job from Rimpel to clear that from the box. Rimpel, the thing I know about Rimpel from doing the PA announcing from last year is he's a lefty. And does lefty-righty have a big kind of like difference here in soccer?
I mean, it depends on how ineffective I'd say. Lefty righty only matters depends on how ineffective your weak foot is, as they call it. I mean, him working on the right side, that's perfect. I mean, he can cut in on the left, make crosses curling into the box rather than out. So, I mean, being a left-footed player on the right wing, that's usually the perfect kind of player that you're looking for.
And now, I might be wrong in saying this, but I feel like left-handed players are more predominant in soccer.
That is not true at all.
No? Okay, I just completely made that up. I'm sorry about that. I just thought that usually the best players are left-handed. I feel like...
Well, I'll tell you what, the best player of all time is left-footed.
Okay, there we go. That's probably where I got that from, because I know in a lot of other sports, lefties are kind of... not a unicorn, but definitely show up less often than righties.
100%. I mean, most people are taught to play with the right foot. It's the most common way, but...
Temple here with a shot.
Speaking of left foot.
Yeah,
left foot strike.
Is no good. It is off target, blocked by Monmouth defender, and the goalkeeper was able to recover that one. So it is going to be Monmouth's ball here on their possession.
I mean, good. I mean, Temple are getting their shots in.
They are.
I'm surprised at how well they're stopping this Monmouth attack. I mean, they're limiting their chances in the box. I mean, they're getting their chances, but as far as shots, Monmouth has been kind of struggling to get one together.
And how many shots for each team do they have so far?
Right now we got 3 shots for Temple, 1 on goal from the one we saw from Aaron Markowitz, and then only 1 shot total from Monmouth, none on target.
And right there, that was a cross from Xavier Rimpel in Temple territory that was cut off by a Monmouth attacker. And now there is that man, Bontini, with the ball. And a bit of confusion here as it goes off a Monmouth attacker, and Temple is going to gain possession here for the out-of-bounds situation. Throw in here by Temple. And Monmouth playing very, very sticky defense so far in this game.
Yeah, definitely upping the press as far as on defense for Monmouth recently. I mean, Temple has been very aggressive, trying to cut off as many lanes as possible on the ball, but Monmouth's starting to fight a little back, trying to cut off that counterattack, kind of cut off Temple's attack starting from the defense. So it'll be interesting to see how they change things up going forward.
And when you go to defensive schemes here in soccer, do you see a lot of differences between like zone and press and different types of defensive schemes like that?
Are we talking about football or football here?
We're talking about football, baby.
Yeah, I mean, as far as defense, I mean, it really just comes down to how many players you want in your defense, whether you run 3 at the back, 4 at the back, maybe a overly defensive 3 at the back, make it a 5 back. But as far as Temple goes, I mean, this is a very limited defense. We're sending both fullbacks all the way up. I mean, you got Nikolai Zapolskic and Rocco Hoifgluckner on the other side. I mean, both play as definitely outward fullbacks or wingbacks, I guess we would say in this scenario. So, I mean, it is interesting to see those 2 defenders kind of fight for themselves on their own with their 2 wingbacks gone. But
I'm also seeing that their defenders very often come up towards midfield when Temple has possession. Is that normal for that to happen?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely for trying to build out of the back. I mean, just going back and forth between their 2 center backs, just trying to find some lane, some pass they can make to start off a move. I mean, the wingbacks got to come out from the wing and cut inside and trying to create something, try and create some passing triangles, you know. Kind of like Phil Jackson, the triangle offense, a little bit like that.
Okay,
to give you a comparison, I think you
the
get.
Last Dance.
Yeah, there you go.
Monmouth now with the ball in their territory, trying to play keep away right now from Temple, as we have 27 minutes left to go here in this first half. And I believe that is how college soccer does it. I believe we play 2 halves.
2 halves, 45 minutes each.
So very, very long halves, long time for players to be on the field. That's why they constantly keep subbing in and out. For soccer, I believe there's no limit to subs.
No, there's not. I mean, that's something another offside call for Jason Bozzini. But yeah, no, that's definitely an interesting thing about college soccer, especially being a soccer fan myself, is that seeing the constant subs. I mean, it makes sense definitely at like a more. I mean, I wouldn't call this amateur, but maybe semi-pro level.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a great advantage for many coaches to use, and it's always interesting to see how they like improvise this into their game plan and how they decide when to sub off players and when to sub them on.
And that's where depth becomes a great piece for college teams as well, because
of course,
in the pros, where there is a limited amount of substitutions, you might not have to keep as many talented depth pieces because they're not on the field at all times. But here for college, you want your depth players to be talented because they're going to be coming on the field a lot more often.
Yeah, and especially with change of game plan for substitutions. I mean, maybe you're trying to play on the wing, crossing the box, and these tall defenders are getting your way. Maybe you bring in someone to bring more action into the middle and build through the middle, or maybe you bring in another tall striker to try and compete with those big center backs. So, I mean, a lot of different variety, a lot of different things you could do with this substitution rule, and I'd love to see how Temple and Monmouth are going to use this game.
And I think the Temple soccer team is a great example of depth and always being ready, because if we see over there on Temple's side, the entire bench is just up and moving, potentially getting ready to just come in at any moment.
Yeah, I mean, got to stay warm, especially in soccer. There's a lot of moving. Any kind of any standing still and any kind of just immobile movement can tighten you up and make you pull that hammy and try to stretch out before the game.
And speaking of being warm, there is another rule here in college with most games that are played outside, which is a heat timeout, which players...
water break.
And water break, yeah. If you're a professional athlete, you have to be able to hydrate. We want to make sure these are still college students that are playing this game. So we want to make sure they are properly hydrated. And then if it is too hot outside, they will take a water break, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely started to integrate this at the higher level as well. I mean, with the World Cup in Qatar, you almost have to incorporate that, especially playing in 100-degree weather. So, I mean, it's a worthwhile ad. I think it's smart for the game.
Oh, absolutely, because it's not really that big of a break. It's probably about like a 2 to 3 minute break, I believe, here at the college level. Not sure how it is in professionals. As Temple has a bit of, not a breakaway, but they do have possession here in Monmouth's side of their defensive side.
Yeah, Elias Betancourt had a great setup there, kind of dribbling through the offense, trying to find a look. And we got to
cross inside, and it is a great defensive play from Monmouth, a header that does push them out of bounds. But Temple will still regain possession.
Yeah, and there's a corner for Temple. It'll be big to see how we capitalize on this. I mean, this is probably going to be one of their best chances tonight. I mean, that open header by Markowitz has definitely been the best and clear-cut chance of the night. Just couldn't get it off to the side, but we'll see how they do on this corner here.
Yep, this right here is the best chance so far Temple has, as they are not able to get it off the corner. There was a header from, I believe, a Monmouth player to hit it out. Cross inside from another Temple attacker, but Monmouth doing a great job getting it out of the box.
Yep, and they finally killed off the attack right there. I mean, I'll tell you what, Temple's doing a great job of following up. I mean, Elias Betancourt got on the end of that header out of the way and trying to set something back up, but it looks like Monmouth might be onto something now.
Yeah, as a Monmouth attacker is currently rushing into the Temple's side of the field. Xavier Rimpel there to stop a counterattack. And you got to give props to Monmouth's defense there. There was about 3 or 4 headers from their defense to clear it out to stop a potential score for Temple in that possession.
And I'll tell you what, Xavier Rimpel is definitely playing very far back for what I expect out of a forward. I mean, I mean, as far as game plan goes, I'm sure that there's that coach wants them to follow up and cover for Rocco on the right side, but I mean, he's putting all his effort out there and making sure nothing happens down that right side.
Yep, of course, Xavier Rimpel, the guy who helped Temple win the first game of the season for them, and
second game
of the season.
First one was a tie. First one was Army.
And Xavier Rimpel beat which team?
Nova.
Big team to beat for the Temple Owls, and he's been Would you say Rimpel's been all over the field so far to say?
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's been he's definitely lacking a little bit in attack recently, but that's only just because of his defensive assignment. He seems to be coming back for. But I mean, defensive work from the AAC Offensive Player of the Week. I mean, it's great to see a guy play both ends.
As that was a cross from Temple, which was stopped once again from Monmouth's defense. But Temple having a good chance here to score. Shot blocked once again, and this Monmouth defense is not giving up.
No, and great work. And hey, I was kind of dissing Xavier Rimple right there, but he had a great move. He had a great move to set this up. It looks like Monmouth might be on the attack right now.
Yep, Monmouth on a breakaway, a shot, and a score for Monmouth. Number 10, that is Patrick Oseki there with the first score in this game, and the first score on the WHIP Sports Radio broadcast of the year. Patty, could you potentially try to break down what happened?
I could try my best. I mean, Temple was on the attack there. I mean, trying to get the ball from like about 30 yards out, just outside the box. I mean, trying to get the ball together, try to set up a move, and really got caught off guard to trying to recover. Defense was lacking a little bit. They caught him down the sideline and led his way to an open goal on the right side. And I mean, I guess that's what happens when Xavier Rimple is not down on the right side, because without him, he was all the way up in the attack, and he was not there for the defense, and look what happens there.
Yeah, Rimple definitely a big defensive presence so far here for the Owls. And I believe with Temple being so far up playing offensively, that the counterattack for Monmouth really took advantage of all those players playing up.
Yeah, I mean, when your base attack is especially when you have the ball further up the field, you only have two center backs back there. I mean, you just got guys, you got the wing backs sprinting back trying to cover the ends that they're missing, and then you got extra midfielders trying to run back and trying to cover as much as you can. But when you got three players, you only got one player on the wing, and you got a fast guy from Monmouth on the edge, and he makes himself an open shot. I mean, there's a good chance he'll score, and he did. He took great advantage of that opportunity.
Absolutely. Rimple definitely did. Being not in defensive position there definitely hurt Temple with that. But if you're Temple, you just got to shake that off and just not worry about it, because there's still so much more game to go. There's still 20 minutes here left in the first half, so they just definitely got to shake it off, forget about it, and keep with the same game plan.
Yeah, I mean, Temple, I mean, that was Monmouth's second shot of the game and their first one on target. So, I mean, if we're just looking statistically, Temple has had a very attacking game. They've done very well on defense. It's not great that they gave up on their first real opportunity on defense, but it's all about how you bounce back at this point.
Absolutely, as that was a very long shot, probably 40 yards out from the goal for Hoyt. Let's see if I can say this name correctly. Hoyfglockner.
Yeah, cloose enough.
And that was definitely on target as well. It was a save. Here is the number one player that we spotlighted in the beginning of the game, Bottini. I would say losing a 1v1 situation.
Temple got. I'll be honest. Temple got a little lucky on that. Bottini tried to cut in. We had Nikolai Zapolskik. I gotta figure out how to pronounce that. I got Nikolai on the wing, number 3,
and I believe Kamali Green was also on that defense as well.
Yeah, as well. And I mean, he tried to make a move past him. Unfortunate that tripped up on there, got the foul called on him, and now it's Temple ball.
Would you say that was lucky for Temple to not make it go the other way, and they're not shooting a penalty at the moment?
Definitely. I mean, it was getting tripped up, kind of on your own feet. But when you make any contact with the attacker, I don't think they're going to give any bit of it would have been a very light penalty. So I don't know if they could make that call. And
Bottini, of course, for Monmouth is definitely the guy you don't want taking penalties if you're Temple. So you definitely want to try to suppress him as much as you can. As now with Temple, they are holding on to possession as Flannan Riley, one of the two ways. I believe it's Flannan Riley. He cleared it out, and that ball is going off of Monmouth, and Temple is going to gain possession here more into Monmouth's side of the field. Temple now passing it back and forth between Kamali Green.
Yeah, building up through the defense again. I mean, they got I got George Metal coming back to try and help build up a little bit, make a connected pass here. But once again, playing up far down the wing, and Monmouth's not really getting it cleared out very well. Still moving up the field.
That was an amazing move from Monmouth's defender there. I thought it was a bad idea for him to kick it straight up in the air, but he was able to.
No, it was.
it was, but then he was the one able to stay underneath it and then clear it after doing that. So I think he got a little bit lucky there.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely would have liked to get it further down the field and maybe not out of bounds that close, but considering this Monmouth counterattack, it doesn't look like he'll mind.
Yep, Monmouth's counterattack. Once again, this is how they scored the goal last time, and Battini passing it, crossing it to the other side, where a Monmouth defender is quickly swarmed by a Temple defender, and Monmouth now with the counterattack, and that is kicked out of bounds by, I believe, Monmouth, so I think Temple will gain a possession here. Let's see. No, I think it's a corner for
Looks like we got a corner going on.
Yep, so this is Monmouth's, I believe, second corner of the game so far.
Yes.
And this is definitely not what you want to see when you are Temple, because they don't really have to worry about getting something offensively going.
Actually.
It's their first corner, because the last one was a throw-in, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So their first corner of the game. Let's see how this one results, as that cross is a little too long. It goes to the opposite side of the field where no Monmouth attacker was, and now they're going to have to try to change their game plan on this possession. As Monmouth
fishing for another corner there. They got a deflection they got a deflection from a Temple defender, so might as well just wait it out and try and get a corner, get a better chance off of this.
I believe that Temple defender to hit it out was Kamali Green, the graduate student, as this is now the second corner of the game for Monmouth. The last one didn't go their way, and this one not as good, but that was a great defensive play from one of the Temple defenders.
Putting your body on the line.
Absolutely. Kamali Green was able to head it out of there and clear it, and
I mean,
it was a better corner shot than it was last time.
I mean, they got it to a Monmouth player. Went really bold with the first time volley.
Yes.
Great block by, bold, brave block by the Temple defender.
He was right in front of him, and that was a full head of steam, full shot, just taken right to the body.
That's going to sting and leave a mark.
Yeah, and that goes with potentially all this depth. If a guy does take a shot like that, as that is a clear across the middle cross, but Riley is there to save it, I believe that would be counted as a shot.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
No.
It was a cross in then?
Yes.
So a pass there. And if a guy ever does take a stinger like that and he doesn't really feel too well or wants to shake it off, you can always bring a substitute in, which potentially that's what Temple's doing, as 3 guys are lining up to come in.
I'll tell you what, I don't think any player on this team would want to come off for taking a stinger. But, all hats off to him.
Yeah, he's
putting his body on the line for team.
Yeah. Across inside to Temple. A great kick, but a save from Monmouth's goalkeeper. And that was if he would have made that, that would have been an insane shot.
That would have been great. Definitely great cross there by Rimple, getting it into George Metal.
Yep, and, Metal, a great attempt there.
Didn't get great contact on it. Looks like it was about at waist height, so hard to bring your foot up there for some good contact on the ball.
Yeah, I believe he hit it with his knee instead of his foot.
It did look like it hit his knee, but creating more opportunities. That's another one for Temple. Second shot on goal.
As Temple, with their first substitution of the game, bringing in, it looks like 5 guys, which, great fast food chain, by the way, 5 guys.
Yeah.
This is
a little overrated. Those are pricey burgers.
Yes, but think about it this way, Patty. Would you rather have a 5 Guys burger for around $13 or a quarter pounder with cheese for about $10? I think
no one can top a quarter pounder with cheese.
No, nobody can top it, but I think 5 Guys is quality is worth $3 more.
I'd get Shake Shack instead.
That is also a great option. 5 Guys coming in here for Temple, as they will slowly start changing it on the score graphic, as we will see who comes in, and we can potentially announce who came in for them. Close call there. Big collision. 2 men down for either team. One team got down. Temple player got up, and the Monmouth guy is now last to get up, but they both look fine, and that's all that we hope for here, that they're both okay.
Both definitely looking for the call a little bit, but I mean,
they both definitely tried to sell it.
Maybe a little bit, but I mean, ball's in play. You got to get back up in action.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter the pain or anything. And I mean, look at Elias Betancourt already back on the press, trying to get this ball off of Monmouth.
I think since that substitution, it could have changed a little bit. It looks like they're playing more press when Monmouth has the possession in their territory.
Yeah, I mean, got some fresh legs. I mean, might as well use them best to your ability. I mean, 13 minutes left. Might as well go out and all-out sprint. I mean, with Lucas Egartner now on the field, and Charlie Votel, the freshman of the AAC Freshman of the Week, with his goal
Impressive.
after his goal against Villanova. So, going to be interesting to see how they add to this team.
Do you think that the game plan with bringing in all these substitutes changed slightly? Do you think they have certain certain plays to run, or not really plays, but just a different game plan?
I mean, overall, I feel like teams mainly stick to their single game plan for the most part. I mean, there'll be adjustments here and there depending on their opponent, how they're playing, how much they're behind. But I mean, Temple's still using the outside.
Great defense for Monmouth, and that's the one solid factor that has been consistent throughout this game so far. It's Monmouth's defense on crosses and on shot blocks. Yeah,
I mean, a lot of crosses by Temple this game so far, and tell you what, a lot of freshman presence right now with Edgar Bazan and Charlie Votel now on the pitch.
And that could potentially go into the experience aspect, where if Monmouth kept their more experienced players, and now Temple's playing some of these players maybe even for the first time this season, that could potentially hurt Temple, would you say?
Maybe a little bit.
As that was a very, very close tackle from a Temple player. They definitely wanted the call. Monmouth trying to sell it, but refs will let them play on, and there was no advantage or anything calling there.
Yeah, Temple's still going, as far as technique and game plan, they're still definitely taking advantage of the sidelines, still building up through the back a little bit. It seems like they're getting a little bit more support from the midfield. We're seeing some kind of midfielder come in and come back towards the two center backs during this build-up. I mean, now we see Paolo Campula on Temple coming back. I mean, earlier it was George Metal, but yeah, no, that seems to be a definite change, bringing a little bit more support there on the early build-up of their attack.
And we just saw Monmouth make their first couple substitutions of the game as well, so they're getting some fresh legs out there, as Temple now with possession on their side of the field, passing it back to the goalkeeper Riley, chooses not to clear it and keeps it on his side of the field.
I mean, Monmouth's given us Monmouth's given Temple a lot of space in the back, and I mean, why not build up from the back in there? You feel like you can across the middle, shot over the goal. Wow, that would have been an absolute amazing shot coming from a Temple attacker, and it almost hit the crossbar on the top, just slightly went over the goal. Yeah, Lucas Egartner, I mean,
that was a laser.
Gets a great ball lined up for him outside the box, and just puts it a few feet over the bar. Maybe a little, could have been like a little bit to the left as well, but just a little bit too much power on that ball.
And we're not going for a crossbar challenge here. To win the game, you want to put it in the back of the net.
Okay, let's not insult Temple here.
I'm not insulting. I'm just joking around, as Temple now with possession of the ball. And it looks like that was their best chance to score so far in this game, and it didn't come off of a cross.
Well, I mean, it's definitely up there. I wouldn't yet put that as our best chance to score, but definitely a great opportunity, showing Temple still got life. I mean, aside from that one hiccup with that one goal from Temple,
it's a clean game so far.
It's a pretty clean game. Temple has been controlling very well. Monmouth has been just trying to get that counterattack going. They got one really good one and got a goal out of it. Temple's just got to take advantage of their chances in front of net and put one back.
Absolutely. We were talking about clean games. There hasn't been any penalties so far yet. Really rarely any close calls either, as that shot is saved by the Monmouth goalkeeper.
I'll tell you what, I think that's what this Temple team probably wanted, especially from Coach Green. I mean, last game, not as much Temple. I mean, 8 fouls to 7 there were 9 yellow cards from Villanova and 2 from Temple in the last game,
so
as
very
well
big difference there.
as well as 2 red cards given out in the 78th minute from a fight breaking down. But
a fight, interesting.
yes, a little
Scuffle.
Yeah. But I mean, one of the main things, as we're getting close to the end of the first half, one of the main takeaways I've been seeing from Temple, maybe not as much in this game, but in their first 2 games of the season, they've been very much a first-half team. I mean, most of their action comes in the first half. Against Villanova, they were able to get a goal. However, it was from a penalty, so not as much on-field and open-field action. As a free kick gets called for Temple right outside the 18-yard box, and this could be a great opportunity.
That was perfect for Temple, but also very unfortunate because I felt like that was a very good opportunity to cross it in or potentially get a shot off there.
Yeah, Elias Betancourt had it at the edge of the box. I mean, got clipped at the legs right at the half circle, so we'll see who takes it. We'll see how good of an opportunity, and see if they can take advantage of it.
Absolutely. The first free kick of this entire game so far is coming with less than 8 minutes to go here in the first half.
Well, maybe scoring opportunity from a free kick. There has been a few free kicks so far, but as far as this is the one that, I mean, really have any scoring chance on. Now the question is, who's going to take it? I mean, they got a few names. A lot of subs have been made. A lot of forwards are now off of the field currently. So who's going to be the taker?
And that's where trickery can come in as well, because right now 3 guys are standing around the ball, and it could be now 2
Right
guys.
now it's just Edgar Bazan and what looks like Kamali Green.
Yes, and either of them could take this free kick. Before, like I was saying, this is not the first free kick of the game, but it's the first free kick off of a penalty or some sort of stoppage from the refs without it going out of bounds. The shot is up, and a great save from Monmouth's goalkeeper. He has been great so far here in the first half.
He has, and sadly for Bazan, I mean, hasn't been able to didn't get. Well, he's lucky enough. I mean, first objective for a free kick, especially, is trying to get it over the wall.
Absolutely.
Had a great height, got it right over the wall. Got it too close to the goalie, however. Easy save for him. And now Temple are going to have to find another opportunities here.
Temple trying to find opportunities as they are now in the box of Monmouth, but that attack was unfortunately stopped by Monmouth, as now they have a chance to do a counterattack. Monmouth player is tripped, and they are going to get a free kick here.
I mean, great, smart foul on Temple's behalf.
Absolutely.
No card. I mean, stopping that counterattack, getting yourself back on defense. And their first foul of the game. So, I mean,
very clean game so far here from Temple. But you have to imagine that if they were able to do a purposeful foul on what would have been the goal scorer so far here in this game, that potentially would have stopped that from happening. But
I mean, yeah, you always think of a tactical foul,
yep.
But as far as in that scenario, I mean, you're just risking a penalty kick.
Yeah, and especially early into the game, it's like you have so much time to make up ground.
Yeah, penalty kick and or even worse, a card.
As that right there is definitely a foul on Monmouth, tripping a Temple player who's trying to go corroborate the ball. Corroborate. Big words. Don't need
recover.
To use them. Recover the ball. There you go. As now Temple has possession here in their territory. Kamali Green passing it to the right side. Temple bringing it up. And it looks like the entire team of Monmouth is on defense here.
Yeah, they're really overloading that left side of the field, that far side from us. I mean, we've mainly been attacking down that right side, so from our right side, and that right wing side and that left back side for Monmouth. I mean, it's been our main point of attack. It's where most of our crosses have come from into the box. So it seems like they're really trying to shut down that side for Temple on the attack.
And they're doing a great job at shutting down that side as well.
Definitely.
Big clear here from Monmouth's goalkeeper, as now Temple with possession after that clear. But they don't have a free possession here, as now they do. It's going to be a throw-in for Temple, but they were doing their common pass it between the defenders on their side. But
building up from the back.
Yep, but Monmouth was there with a couple attackers trying to watch out for any misplays from Temple. It's going to be yet another throw-in here for Temple in their territory.
Yeah, I think at this point, it seems like Monmouth is really just trying to shut down any bit of buildup that Temple's got. I mean, only 4 minutes left. Temple has been a lot more attacking and a lot more successful in their advancement up the field ever since that first goal. So, I mean, I'm sure that Monmouth want to make sure that they come out of this half with the lead and with the momentum that lead gives you.
Absolutely. Temple resetting here, passing it back to the goalkeeper Riley, and now Kamali Green with possession of the ball, passing it up the sideline for Temple. Very, very tough defense from Monmouth, and that's going Monmouth's way.
Yeah, Betancourt, unlucky, trying to get down that line, is getting shut down by number 9, Kevin Zapata on Monmouth.
Great defense there.
And, I mean, gets them to draw the foul, and now they got a free kick.
Yep, 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Temple versus Monmouth. It's 1-0 here. And here is a free kick from the goalkeeper taking it as he clears, but Temple defender, nice job to counterattack that one, heading it. And that is out on Monmouth. And now Temple with a free throw here. Temple trying to pick up the tempo a little bit, trying to throw it into Monmouth territory, but Monmouth able to gain possession after that throw-in.
Great cross.
Absolutely,
just kind of resetting, but now Temple is definitely adjusting better. I mean, if they could advance from that like sideline to sideline cross, I mean that would have been danger for Temple, but able to recover well and kind of close down that other side.
And now Monmouth kind of resetting here as they're passing it back and forth on their side of defense. And you got to think maybe they start playing keep away to end this half potentially.
I mean, that's a risky game. Keep away is always a risky game to play. You always want to make some kind of attack, kind of change it up for the defense, because trying to play keep away too long always ends in disaster. Okay. And I mean, with this little time, I'm sure they'll try and up their lead a little bit here.
Still attacking here, a cross across the middle, but that is a great clear from a Temple defender. And that stops that very, very nice attack from Monmouth, as now there's a scuffle for the ball in the back left corner of the field, and that is out on Monmouth. Temple will have a free throw here. I'll tell you what, this first half has been filled with a lot of defense so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely two different kind of methods of attack between the two teams. I mean, Temple has been building out from the back, trying to go up the sides, trying to find a lane to cross into, or trying to maybe find some guy in the middle. But as far as Monmouth, they've mainly been working on the counterattack. They get the ball, they press up on the ball handlers, try to make a dive at the ball, and start the attack almost immediately. So it's definitely been a bit of contrasting attacks between the two teams. So I wonder if they're going to change the game plan towards the second half, especially Temple with how they're doing so far. Do they think that this is enough for them to get a goal in the net, or do they think they need to change it up for them to see some success tonight?
That's definitely a possibility. 30 seconds left here in the first half, and there is a stoppage here on the field. It's going...
Goal kick.
Goal kick. It's going Monmouth's way. So there's 17 seconds left here in the first half. 14 seconds now. Its clock's counting, and I think the goalkeeper's just going to try to hold this for as long as possible.
I mean, he's definitely in no rush to kick it out. I mean, he's got some audio help from the PA box to count him down.
The last kick here to end the first half. The final score for this first half is 1-0. And Patty, give us a breakdown of those shots ratio.
Well, so far we have 7 shots to 3 in favor of Temple, and 3 shots on target for Temple in comparison to Monmouth's 1. 3 saves for Monmouth, 0 saves for Temple, 8 fouls for Monmouth, only 1 foul for Temple. I mean, you can't look at a game through a stat sheet, but looking at this game through the stat sheet, you'd think that Temple is in full control there. They're not committing as many fouls as Monmouth are. They have more shots on target, and they have more shots in total against Monmouth. But that one unlucky breakaway for Temple, I mean, defense was not ready for the counterattack. They had 3 men, although they did have 3 men back. That 1 man forward for Monmouth was far ahead, ready for that opportunity, cut in, got a good shot off, and was able to put it in the back of the net. So Temple's really going to have to make up, probably kick into gear another level. They're getting things into the box, but they can't finish things off. So we'll see any changes to their game plan, see what they need to do to put one over the net, and, well, hopefully not put one over, put one in the net.
They already did put one over the net.
Oh, yes, they did. But, yeah, I mean, it really is Temple's game. I think so. I think the scoreline doesn't tell the whole story. I think Temple has a game here, and they really need to pull together in this second half if they want to take this one without a loss.
Absolutely. It's a game of inches so far here in this one going into the second half. We're at halftime right now, and you were saying the stats don't tell the full story, and I have to agree because even though Monmouth has been playing very, very good defense, Temple has also been playing very, very good defense. Just like you were saying, though, Temple got that unlucky counterattack, which ended up in the back of their net. And Temple, do we know the possession game so far yet? Do we know who's held the ball longer?
I think it's easy to say that Temple has held the possession a bit more. I mean, trying to build up to the back, I mean, that definitely just boosts up your possession numbers a little bit. So that's definitely helped out a bit. I mean, I really liked the addition of bringing in a midfielder down to help with that building from the back between Jaden Jackson and Kamali Green.
That definitely helped, but then also that was the reason that Monmouth scored is because they brought him so far up.
Yeah, I mean, when you're setting up Xavier Rimple, I mean, we talked about Xavier Rimple. I don't want to blame him for the goal, but he was missing from that right side on that goal, and I mean, so was as well as Rocco Hoifgluckner. So I mean, you got to hope for the best. You can't blame it on him. I think he's going to do a great game. I think he's going to have a great game in the second half, but he's created a few chances.
Oh! Hit the crossbar! First try! Sorry for cutting you off there, Patty. That was nuts. That was insane. We have some fans taking shots here, and first try, she hit the crossbar. I'm not sure if that's the challenge, but that was very cool to see.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what better note to end this half with a highlight like that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for tuning in to the first half here on WHIP Sports Radio on YouTube. I am Jake Holzhauer alongside Patty Heckard. We will come back here in the second half. We have about 12 minutes to go, so we will see you then. One. Welcome back to WHIP Radio on YouTube. I am Jake Holzhauer alongside Patty Heckard, and we are coming back into the second half here of men's soccer, Temple versus Monmouth. Patty, quick breakdown if everybody missed it that's listening in. What happened in that first half?
Sure thing. I mean, first half, it definitely was, Temple really wanted to get on the attack quickly. Had 7 shots, 3 on target, but Monmouth really took advantage of a breakaway they had early on, took advantage of the counterattack. Misshapen and defense lacking players for Temple was really the crux of the goal, and their only shot on goal so far is Monmouth's 1 goal. So
yeah.
As far as, we talked about this before the break. The stat sheet says so many other things about this game, but Temple looks like they're in control, and but they haven't really been able to finish off their chances in the box. So we'll see if they change that around this time. They seem to be going a lot more aggressive down the field with a long cross there ahead.
Yeah, the thing that we were talking about before we went into our halftime break was the stats are kind of lying here in this game so far. Both sides playing great defense, and it looks like Temple really controlled the ball and kept getting shots up, but that's not really the case. Yes, they kept getting shots up, but it was blocked every single time for Monmouth, and Monmouth, who didn't get many shots up, also looked to be around the same on offense.
Yeah, I'd say the difference between this Monmouth and Temple attack is that Temple was able to get their shots off, but they weren't great shots.
They weren't able to finish.
Yeah, they weren't able to finish. But Monmouth have been able to get into the box, but they haven't been able to get these shot attempts off. They've been trying to find an open lane, open shot, try and get the ball to an open player, whether it be offsides or a foul or a deflection from a Temple defender. They just haven't been able to find these shot opportunities. So really, for both teams, it comes down to unlocking one little bit in the box. So Monmouth just needs to find those shot attempts, and Temple needs to take those better shots.
And I would say the game plan, at least offensively for both teams, for Monmouth, it's mainly been counterattack that's been happening, as that's a cross nicely saved by the goalkeeper Riley for Temple. And back to what I was saying, for Monmouth, it's mostly been the counterattack that's been finding some success for them. For Temple, it's mainly been get the crosses, pound it into the box. Yeah,
Temple's been going the slow approach for the entirety of the first half. They really are patient with their center backs and building out of the back line, trying to find lanes down the right and left side. Really favor that right side, and Monmouth even overloaded on that side with defense. But
as that was a clear from Monmouth that ended up going towards their goal, as that was a slide tackle from Xavier Rimpel that ends off the defensive player.
They haven't called
of
anything
Monmouth.
yet.
We're waiting for an official call here.
And there's a corner.
That's a great play from Xavier Rimpel.
That was a fantastic play. Cross was a little bit off, or pass was a little bit off. Rimpel came to defend and try and lock off the Monmouth defender in the corner.
Absolutely.
And able to force a deflection off the ball and get a corner for Temple here.
And of course, Rimpel, the main guy to look at for Temple here, as he has a corner kick, crossing. A bit of a bad cross, goes around and behind the net almost. It's like it curved behind the net, so it wasn't that great of a cross for Rimpel, but definitely the guy you want to look out for when you're watching Temple, because he was single-handedly the reason they beat Villanova earlier this year.
Yeah, a goal and 2 assists by Xavier Rimpel against Nova. Fantastic performance. Earlier we mentioned he did win AAC Offensive Player in the Week with that performance. So, yeah, we're waiting to see that kind of X factor kind of ignite and kick off here during this game, but haven't seen too much. He's had some flashes here and there, but no real concrete chances coming from Rimpel today.
Mm-hmm. And the one thing that we did see Rimpel do, which it wasn't entirely his fault, we're not blaming him for that, but we noticed that when he came up to start attacking more, that's when Monmouth was able to do that counterattack and end up resulting in a goal.
Yeah, Temple definitely looked for a more defensive outlook, because when we're looking at players, Xavier Rimpel, he's a right wing. He's a forward. So having him, when they had him that far back on defense, we had to notice. We took notice. And as soon as we saw him kind of leaving that back line, I mean, the goal kind of happened shortly after. I mean, Temple did get caught a little bit on a counterattack and had a few guys kind of tracking back and trying to get in position. But once we saw like Temple taking that less defensive approach, it kind of led to bad things for him.
And I believe that was an offsides call on Monmouth, which gives Temple possession. As Temple now with the attack, crossing it across the middle. Very good opportunity, but then again, Monmouth with their defense just stopping any chance for any attack at all.
Yeah, Rimple really saw goal there. I mean, he saw that, took a nice touch, tried to cut inside towards, kind of line up his strong foot there on the left, and hopefully maybe ding one in the top corner there, but got stopped before he could make another move or make a shot attempt.
And what I'm noticing early here is Rimple's playing very far up compared to how he played last half already.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Temple they've got to take an offensive approach with this half, and I mean, holding back their at least best performer on offense these past two games I don't think would be the correct answer to that problem.
Monmouth now with the ball in the Temple territory, having possession, now sort of resetting, passing it back around midfield, trying to set up any sort of attack against Temple. That was a very nice curved kick, which ended up in a throw-in for Monmouth, was sort of cut off by a Temple defender that ended up kicking it out of bounds. 40 minutes to go here in the second half, just beginning. Temple doesn't have to worry about scoring just yet, but they definitely need to start thinking about some
It should
sort
be
of
on the
attacking.
mind.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think Temple wants to go for just a draw. I don't think they want to go for the tie. So striking early would change. I mean, talk about a momentum shift for Temple. So, I mean,
as Monmouth with a sort of cross that wasn't really a full-on shot, and it is saved there by Riley.
Try to find someone that was 8. Eric Rice. He's a Reese. He's a big assister for Temple. He had a lot of assists last year a lot of assists for Monmouth last year. I mean, great cross there. Try to curve it into that like kind of outside corner, but couldn't find anyone on the end of it.
And that was a very nice defensive play from Monmouth, number 22. That's Jacob Friedman, who is able to cut that ball off. But Xavier Rimple is able to do a spin move and get possession of the ball, but he does pass it away. But he gets it right back. The back and forth game from Monmouth and Temple. Rimple sort of taking the team on by himself, it looks like, as that ball is going Monmouth's way.
Yeah, I mean, unlucky. He was piecing a bit of moves, 1-2 moves together. I mean, try to get that spin move in there, but try to find someone on the outside in the wing. Couldn't find it. Got it straight to a Monmouth defender. But I mean, he's trying to create something.
It seemed like after he wanted to pass it up towards his attacker, as soon as the Monmouth defender sort of outran him for the ball, it's kind of like Rimple went into like, I need to do more here, and tried to create a little bit too much for himself there.
Yeah, I mean, there's no need to put the team on the back just yet, but
Yes.
I do appreciate seeing the exceeded effort by Temple. I mean, they got to change up what they're doing, and I mean, they haven't been doing too many one-on-ones. They've been just trying to get it to the outside.
And I'm not sure if the game plan changed here at all, but you're noticing Rimple pretty much going for the ball at all moments right now, trying to attack as much as possible, and trying to get possession.
Yeah, in the back third there, Rimple he's back and active, trying to win the ball back for Temple. So, I mean, definitely going back to a more defensive route this half.
And for us in the first half, Rimple was set up on the other side, so we weren't really closely able to watch him. But it looks like in this second half so far, he's been going more for that defensive focus, attacking whoever has the ball.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's see the ball, be the ball. And once the ball, go get it. I mean, it seems like they're definitely doing a little bit of an overload Temple. So on ball side, they'll have the winger pull back and try and play defense with the wing back. Xavier's not taking that deep of a look whenever he's back there.
Speaking Xavier, the cross to him goes over his head out of bounds, and now it's Monmouth's throw-in.
Yeah, so Xavier, I mean, at least on the opposite side, Xavier's not trying to go back too much, but on that ball side, he's trying his best to win the ball back on defense for Temple.
Fighting for possession here as he goes across the middle now towards midfield. Monmouth just trying to keep it away from Temple at the moment, trying to get any sort of attack, pushing up past midfield now into Temple territory.
Yeah, I mean, Monmouth's taking this game nice and slow. They're not rushing too much. I mean, trying to control the ball a bit more. I mean, it definitely makes a lot more sense as they have the lead and trying to slow down the game a little bit. But they've definitely kind of put their foot off the gas pedal a little bit here. Oh,
As you say that, the shot and the score! Monmouth going up 2-0, number 8, I believe. Eric Reese with the goal, and Patty, as you were saying, they were taking their foot off the gas. They go ahead and they score.
Yeah, talk about putting my foot in my mouth. Yeah, mistake there by Temple on the defense. I mean, trying to dribble the ball back and keep possession away, try and play with the goalie, but it just gets stolen off the Temple defender.
And it seemed like Kamali Green, I believe, was that Temple defender with the ball, and he sort of got trapped in the corner, and instead of passing it to a teammate, the Monmouth attacker, which I don't know who was able to get the ball because the pass was eventually to Eric Reese. The Monmouth defender did a really good job of trapping him and not letting him pass to a teammate.
Yeah, I mean, great job by Monmouth there, taking advantage of the situation. Once again, we're talking about a defensive lapse that Monmouth takes advantage of. So, I mean, great job by them. They're really, sticking towards that counterattacking nature, and able to take advantage from a mistake from the Temple defense and capitalize with a goal. So, I mean, good on them.
And that has been the whole game plan so far here in Monmouth. It seemed like the only way they actually get a chance to score is off the counterattack, and so far that is the reason they scored both times.
Yeah, I mean, the press in Temple's box for this last goal, people give up easily on kind of tracking down the ball the ball carrier on defense when they're passing around, but look what it can do for you when you put that much pressure on them.
Absolutely, as Xavier Rimpel now on the right side, calling somebody to come to him. He passes it across the middle, and now it's a game of the corner for Temple, passing it back across middle as a defender's up now, controlling the ball in Monmouth's side of the field.
Yeah, for Monmouth now, the game, it could really, if they really wanted to, it could become a game of park the bus. They can bring back the strikers, sit in midfield a little bit, bring back their midfielders into defense, kind of have those wingers sit back a little bit, lock down those sides, and they could really enjoy the rest of these 33 minutes if they want to.
And for Temple, I think now you got to start worrying. You go down now by two scores here in the second half and haven't really gotten anything offensively going. I think the game plan changing from defensively should definitely switch to mostly full-on offense from here on out.
Yeah, offside call unlucky there for Temple,
yeah,
but
first offsides for them, by the way, in this game so far.
Yeah, Temple's gonna need a lot.
Yeah. And you definitely want to start seeing more of those offside calls. It's not good to get an offside call, but that shows that you're trying to attack and you're trying to get ahead of the defense.
You wouldn't hope for offside calls.
No, but when you see that, you know that they're trying to attack there. Which they haven't really done at all for the whole
They haven't been
game.
going for. I do see what you said. They haven't been going for the long balls
Absolutely,
as much as this Monmouth team has. And
it seems like Temple's game plan so far is to bring you up slowly off field and then try to crowd people around the box to then try to cross and score from that, which hasn't really been working.
Yeah, they've been big on the cross. They've been trying to make it towards that corner for either the left or right corner for most of the first half. And that's been their way of getting the ball in the box, getting opportunities going for the most part. So, they've really just kind of ended that once the second half started. And I can't really recognize what exactly they're going for. They're still favoring the wing a little bit, but they're not getting those crosses off.
It seems like
in the corner.
The game plan here is just to feed Rimple, which it might have worked there in Villanova, but right now Monmouth is doing a great job of shutting that down.
Yeah, no, Rimple's been the main target this half. And speaking of which, here's him with the cross
with the right foot, and that's another great defensive play from Monmouth to stop the cross. That's been happening all game.
Oh, what a nutmeg there by the freshman, Bazan.
Yeah, great header there from the defender on Temple. Rimple, once again with the ball. I feel like we've been calling him nonstop this second half.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely taken advantage. I mean, he's taken the ball most chances here.
That is a cross, very deep, and Monmouth is just going to let that roll out of bounds, so it's going to be a goalkeeper ball there for Monmouth. And Patty, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like if your main man is Rimple, instead of keeping him on the outside crossing it, do you want to start seeing him more inside to try to start finishing these crosses?
I wouldn't say initially I want to see him on the inside. I mean, he plays on the wing for a reason. It's definitely a position of specialty for Rimple. I wouldn't say sticking him in the middle would have been the best thing, but I mean, especially since we're definitely losing a bit of outside threat with Rimple not on the wing. I think we just need to see a bit better from the rest of the team. I mean, Rimple's definitely trying his best. He's getting fed the ball like crazy, but we need to see some support in the box. We need to see some better build-up. We need to see some good pressure from this team if we want to see any kind of comeback at all.
And I feel like what you're seeing is when Rimple gets the ball, Monmouth is almost like full hands on deck. There's 2, maybe even 3 guys swarming him at all times, and Rimple, I wouldn't say he's not doing the best job of getting it out, but he is also not doing the greatest job of dishing it to a player that would be open.
I mean, it's a struggle. You're trying to advance the ball. You don't want to have to move it back and kind of put your team in a worse situation or kind of reset the whole attack that you've just built up. And Monmouth have really recognized how dangerous those crosses can be for Temple and how much they were used during the first half. So they've really done a smart thing in locking down that right now our right-hand side on the wing.
Absolutely, and I think Monmouth is doing a great job of realizing Temple's game plan, which I'm pretty sure I've been noticing. Once Rimple gets the ball on the right side, it's about 2-3 guys that go to attack him, and then everybody else is just stacking the box, waiting for the cross.
Yeah, looks like it. Temple, another counterattack there, kind of slowed down and dispossessed, and it makes me question whether how much change should they make, or how much change will they need to make, or if that's even a possibility.
At what point would you start fully going towards offense?
I don't think you could ever do that.
Really?
I mean, considering the way that Monmouth has taken advantage of this Temple team, I think putting too much effort on offense it would only cause worse. I mean, Temple does need to come back 2 goals. Mm-hmm. That is a steep deficit for the Owls.
Especially for a defensive team.
Exactly. And I don't know how they're going to come back from this. If they focus too much on offense, that defense has already been caught lacking too many times, and I don't know if I'd want to risk that.
That is true. Every time that Monmouth has scored, it's because Temple was starting to focus on offense. So what would you do? I know you're not the coach, but what would you do here to try to help Temple offensively?
Well, right now I do like what they're trying to do. They're overloading the wings, so they're throwing 3 guys up. They really favor the right wing with Rimple, so they've been throwing 3 guys down the wing, a midfielder in Edgar Bazar, and throwing right back Rocco Hoif-Gluckner and right wing Rimple there to try and build some kind of attack and build a cross into the box.
But now here's the counterattack that we've been talking about all day from Monmouth. But Temple doing a great job of focusing and switching sides.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to keep this press going. Another foul there by Rimple. They're trying to keep this press going and kind of shutting down. I don't think Monmouth is too pushing, isn't going to be pushing too hard on the counterattack, especially with the lead they got going on now. But, I mean, it seems like that right side is Temple's favorite side. And
Monmouth definitely has realized that, and they've definitely put reinforcements over there.
Yeah, I mean, we have not seen many progressions down the left-hand side for Temple this game, let alone a cross down the left-hand side.
True. And then we got to wonder who's playing that left side and why not potentially go over to that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if it's starting to seem like this team is I wouldn't say a one-trick pony, but this team is really favoring the right-hand side.
And favoring, if anyone, just Rimple on that right side.
Yeah, especially in the second half here.
Yes. I think Monmouth has done a great job planning, or not even planning, just adjusting to the game plan of Temple. And if you're Monmouth now, do you just try to pretty much drag out possessions now, try to keep it for as long as possible? as now there is a cross from Temple, but yet another great stop. That's the first time we saw a cross for Temple, as that was so close to being a shot for Temple. Monmouth was able to clear it out. It's going to be a throw-in for Temple. This was the first chance.
Controversial. They're calling for a handball in the box.
On who?
On Monmouth.
Wow.
So Temple was able to block the defensive clearance by Monmouth there, and just off a pinball deflection there, it went off the hands of a Monmouth defender, at least allegedly, according to the Temple attackers, and the Temple bench also screamed out for it, but nothing called, no penalty.
And we've been talking about it all game where they're attacking the right side. This was the first time where we've seen Temple attack the left side.
At least this half, yes.
And it seemed like it worked a little bit.
It did. I mean, they did make some great progressions. It was a little bit on the counter. But some great progressions, found a guy open, got him in the box. A weak little cross on the ground, could definitely use a bit more power.
But they are going into the box now, but yet another clear for Monmouth. But if I'm Temple, I keep attacking that left side. I like what I'm seeing on that left side.
And it seems like they do too. They're going back on the left side again, but the pass is just missed by Kamali Green.
Yeah, Kamali Green passing it upfield towards the left side, and that is a possession killer right there.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good bit of momentum Temple had going on there. I haven't seen that much momentum in a while from the Cherry and White. But, I mean, if they could keep that going, if they now kind of switch up their game plan, maybe get a little bit more variation in their method of attack, maybe that'll be their key. But I mean, they got to figure that out soon because they only have 25 minutes left.
And if they keep attacking that left side, that does eventually open up the right side as well, which they favor the right side. So if that eventually does become open, then they will have a field day over on that right side.
Okay, they're getting a little fancy for my taste. I'm seeing a lot of back heels, a lot of little clips off the side of the feet. Just let's get the ball to each other, and let's kind of build up some kind of attack before we get flashy with it.
That is a cross from the left side, but the goalkeeper is able to run up and stop it. Not that good of a cross here from Temple on that left side, but yet it's a cross nonetheless, which the right side really hasn't been producing all that often as a recent.
Definitely need a little bit more than that, especially with you got the wind in your favor as well.
Yes.
So you'd hope that a cross from there would be able to at least make a target, but that's easy pickings for the goalie there.
Yep, that left side, maybe that's why they weren't really focusing on that left side all too often, because maybe the players that play on that side end up getting a little too cute, end up getting a little too fancy, or they just wanted to keep pounding that right side because they thought they had the best chance to do so.
I mean, right side definitely seems to be the favorite. I'm a big fan of Rocco Hoifgluckner. Talked to him last season, was able to see some of his performance, played a key role in that big win against Syracuse, I believe. I really like his performance, and now we got Xavier Rimple playing a great first two games, and I like that combo, and it makes I completely understand the need to play down that side, but I mean, you need some variety in this attack. You need to change it up a little bit because, I mean, as we saw and as we talked about, there's been a lot of reinforcements for the Monmouth defense, and they've really shut down any bit of Temple attack this half. I mean, I said 7, if I remember correctly, I introduced this half with 7 shots and 3 shots on target, and we are still at that same number.
Wow, so Temple so far, their offensive game plan not going their way, as Rimple had possession of the ball, was going to start favoring that right side, but ended up giving it up, as now he's going to attack that right side once more. This has been the story all second half. Rimple passing it out, and this is definitely when you want to see a cross happen. There is the cross, and yet again, Monmouth is there to stop the cross and stop the attack.
Just no one there for Temple. I mean,
no, but also not that good of a cross. It was on the ground.
Well, I mean, on the ground crosses, they can be effective, but I mean, you got to find the player in the box. And I mean, Monmouth is definitely going to be overloading and protecting that box. So, I mean, I'm with you there. A high cross would probably be the right move to go, but they got to find open targets before they decide what kind of cross they want.
Absolutely going on a feast there, by the way. He just fought off 2 guys, as now a cross towards the left side for Temple. And I wanted to say the counterattack kind of stopped, but Temple still has possession here, so they're attacking that left side now.
I'll tell you what, that was a great defensive. Although he got dispossessed a few seconds later. That was a great move by the Monmouth defender.
Absolutely.
He sat down the ball with his shoulder and was able to fake out the Temple attacker right behind him on which direction he was going.
And that was a clear from Monmouth, so now Temple's going to have to reset. And I would also like to give props to Rimple there. Rimple was fighting off 2 defenders at once, and he was able to get the ball on the other side of the field.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's clear he's got heart. He knows this game isn't over, and, I mean, they're definitely moving away from him now, so that energy is only kicking up further and further.
Yeah, giving him more time to rest, which means when he gets the ball, he's able to do more things with it.
Yeah, and I mean, fresh leg Xavier Rimple is
scary.
I would say it's what this team needs, but it seems like this team needs a bit more than that.
Yep. Now here's the counter attack for Monmouth, and there is a one-on-one chance. The shot is over the net, and that is definitely, it was a heart drop for Temple fans here because that was a one-on-one opportunity that could have easily ended in a goal.
That was, once again, another defensive lapse that should not have happened. That was a throw-in. Temple's 2 center backs caught off guard, and a defender just sneaks by. No offside rules on the throw-in there, so no worries about any offside call there. And he had a one-on-one with the goalie. Temple is lucky to see him shoot that over the fence because if it went anything like the last 2 golden opportunities that Temple's defense had gifted Monmouth, then this game would be 3-0.
And Temple didn't even win that one-on-one. They more just got lucky that it was a missed shot.
Yeah, shot it over and away.
Absolutely, as Monmouth now trying to attack once more. They have possession on Temple's side of the field. And here comes an attacker from the right side, crossing it across the middle. Oh, and that was very, very interesting that what just happened. He crossed it against the middle. Temple defender kicks it to another Temple player who then kicks it back, and Riley has to make a great save on what would have been an own goal.
Yeah, and it's funny, right before that one-on-one opportunity that missed the net, I was going to talk about how it's been a while since we've seen Monmouth on the attacking side. We haven't seen them in Temple's box for a long time, and then just out of nowhere, 2 opportunities go back-to-back.
As now Temple has a really good opportunity to make something happen here. A little dink pass, which it looked like he tried to cross it, but he actually failed on getting contact with the ball. And now Rimpel here in the Monmouth territory. And that is a great defensive play from a Monmouth player, and I believe that might be a throw-in, and it is going to be a throw-in. Temple had a really good chance to make something happen there, as that is a cross. And it was not good. Monmouth once again stopping that. Rimple now here on that right side, getting some space.
Get that cross.
The cross handled well. The shot, putting his body on the line. That was number 9 for Monmouth, and that yet again is a clear. And hopefully the counterattack doesn't mess up once again here for Temple, and they're just going to reset, give it to the goalie. What I'm noticing from Temple is they're relying solely on the cross.
Yeah.
And they are not taking any shots at all when they go across the middle. When they go across the middle, they just try to kick it back out and get the cross again.
They kind of have refused to go through the middle for most of this game. They're not letting Temple haven't been a very big dribbling team as far as creating chances.
Because that possession right there, as that is a shot that is off target for Monmouth. And Edgar Bazan, he had a wide open lane to take a shot across the middle, but instead he decided to just kick it back outside to Rimpel.
Yeah, I mean, for Temple in this attack, the crosses haven't been good enough for them to rely on. I mean, they've been very short. They've been deflected before they get in the box. They have been too long. And Temple hasn't been able to take full advantage of the crosses that they're making in the box. I mean, it would be nice to see. Like, I could just be wrong in thinking like maybe going through the middle could be a good idea. Maybe they don't have the capacities to go through the middle.
But they haven't even been able to try to go through the middle. As right here
Speaking
they have
of
a
going
middle
to the
attack,
middle.
and that potentially could work. Oh, and that was a big shot there. The fans wanted a foul, as that from Monmouth is going to become a throw-in for Temple. That was a good opportunity down the middle, like we were saying.
Yeah, and none other than Rocco Hoifgluckner.
Yeah, Hoifgluckner had a great shot. He did get tripped up. The fans wanted a foul, but did you think that was a foul there?
No, I mean, that was clean contact with the ball. I mean, it happened. The ball was right in between that tackle there, so It was a clean tackle by Monmouth, and unlucky on the follow-up there to get deflected by Monmouth again. So, but I mean, they got a corner out of the whole situation.
Rippel
So
taking the corner here.
Hopefully this one gets in the box.
The kick, and that is stopped by the refs. And what is that, offsides?
Maybe offsides, maybe a bit of pushing in the box.
Okay.
We
so
don't know exactly.
That sucks
but
for Temple right there. That definitely kills the possession.
Yeah, that definitely kills a lot of momentum for this team.
Absolutely. Now, I think the reason they keep going back to this kind of corner, like side-to-side type of attack, yes, that is their game plan, but I bet when they face the bigger school in Nova, that is how they were able to create opportunities and win against Nova, and I think they can try to do it against the smaller school here, but it's not working.
I mean, every team's got a different game plan. I mean, some teams will have similar ones, but they won't have the same players, and they won't have the same different skills. Yeah, different coaches. Very great point. So, I mean, every game is completely different. It's completely new. And, I mean, whether you play high level or low level, they might just play the formation and have the game plan that just completely trumps whatever you're doing on offense or defense.
Absolutely. Now, Temple here with possession on the left side now, but Monmouth is able to stop that. They gain possession, and now it's a fight for the ball across midfield. Monmouth looking like they have that possession. It's another counterattack where the defenders are not there. That is a slide tackle from a defender, and it was great because it was a clean slide. And that's a great defensive possession there from the defensive backs of Temple. And now Rimpel is running up the right side across midfield.
I mean, what a great play by Jaden Jackson there. Through ball into the Monmouth attacker. I believe that was number 22, Jacob Friedman. I mean, he looked like he was clear on goal. He had a great shot opportunity ahead of him. Jaden Jackson comes sliding in, makes a great defensive stop, kind of blocks any opportunity, and then Rocco Hoyklutner comes in to take possession away. And overall, great job by the Temple defender.
Been a penalty right there. It seemed like the Temple defender yelled after getting kicked when he didn't have the ball.
Yeah, it might have been a little foul. I mean, we're getting towards the end of the game.
Yeah, but they're
Refs
getting a
might
lot
be
more
missing stuff.
They're getting a lot more physical as well. As now another Monmouth player is down, and he is not getting up. So we might have to stop the game here. He's still on the ground. He's taking his time getting up as now Temple tries to get the counterattack. It's becoming a lot more physical here, and I think you can definitely tell that there's some frustration built up.
Yeah, I mean, at least on Temple's perspective, why wouldn't there be?
Exactly.
They've tried very hard to get some kind of attempt on net, and nothing's really been working out for them. I mean, they've had good possession. They've been able to get the ball. At least in the first half, they've been able to get the ball in the box. It's been a bit more limited this half. Monmouth has looked to kind of limit them on their attack, and nothing's really working out for them. So frustration is probably going to start to pour out soon.
Absolutely. And going back to that play, that was a great defensive play from number 5, Jaden Jackson. Once again, if he wasn't there, the counterattack caught Temple's defense sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, all it takes is a nice pass and an open man out wide, and you got a chance like that. You got a chance like the first goal. I mean, there's so many things that Temple is looking for that they haven't been getting.
And man, that was a cross from Hoyf-Glockner across the field, and the other attacker, I believe that was number 15, Elliot Rigbert, just whiffed on it. But this is what I'm saying. They were relying on the cross too much. I thought Hoyf-Glockner had a wide open shot there.
I mean, it definitely would have been a change for Temple. It would have been nice to see a little bit of change. Maybe a little bit selfish, especially for someone wearing the captain's armband.
Yes.
So I don't know if Rocco could get away with doing something like that. In that scenario, I guess you live by the cross, you die by the cross.
Exactly.
But that is not.
Even if the game plan is not working, stick with the game plan. But Elliot Rigbert just whiffed on it.
Yeah, Rigbert went for the volley. He didn't look for a touch or
another cross across
just
the
wanted
middle.
to take it first time.
Oh, that was a nice play, but saved. Great play by the goalkeeper, Demora.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. It's not great to see.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if this is happening to you. I'm getting a little frustrated with Temple's offense.
I mean, Temple is definitely frustrated with Temple's offense.
As there's another counterattack happening right now, and once again, it's Jaden Jackson just by himself, pretty much on an island.
Yeah, I mean, thank God he got to the ball first,
yes.
and that counterattack is done with. But I mean, it's hard not to be frustrated at this attack. I mean, they've held possession. They've really tried their best to get something going in the box, but nothing's really been working for them.
And when you look at the stats, they deserve to at least have one goal here.
Well, deserve is a strong word,
true,
but
yes.
they have definitely accumulated enough opportunities for them to have a clear shot.
Speaking of shot, I believe that was number 14 on that shot, Elias Bethencourt on that shot. It was on target, and the ref did call advantage. I don't know if you saw that. The ref called advantage. He was going to stop the play, but the shot from Bethencourt does nullify that, and it is a save for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I mean, it's, hey, pretty strong shot. Looks like that was actually 19.
Okay.
That was Charlie Votzel.
Yeah, great shot, by the way.
Great shot. Unfortunate goalie was standing right there. But, no, strong hit shot.
And you would trade that for an advantage any day of the week, a shot on target.
Well, I don't know about that. That would have been a free kick outside the box. But
Rempel slips, but Temple able to stop it from going out of bounds.
But hey, that's another goal. I mean, that's another shot to the tally, another shot on target for Temple. But with 10 minutes left, I mean, how much are you going to be able to achieve?
Absolutely. And now when we see Temple, they have 3 guys coming in substitution. You want fresh legs in there because it's been a long game, but also you might be sacrificing some of your starters potentially being taken out in this very, very intense opportunity.
I mean, yeah, it looks like that. I don't think there has been many substitutions made for most of the
There goes number
first.
5. Jaden Jackson is checking out of the game.
I think everyone should give that man a round of
Yes,
applause.
he definitely deserves a round of applause, but also he is not the reason, but there is a couple reasons to blame him for a couple.
It's hard to applaud anyone for this game. I mean, it's a right now as we stand, it's a 2-0 defeat. A lot of chances created, but none of them given. No great finishes or anything like that.
Good clear from Monmouth there. And one of the new players coming in is number 4 to replace Jaden Jackson. And don't see him here on the sheet. There we go. It is Diego Diaz coming in for him. And you definitely need to get fresh legs to try to stop the counterattack at this point.
I mean, Jaden's been moving so much this entire half.
That's out of the park. They just kicked it out of the field.
Oh, well, that's like a $30 cost right there, $30-$40.
Hopefully
RP
didn't hit
to
a
that
car.
ball.
Cross across the middle. Hoifglockner now on the right side, and he loses the dribble, and it ends up being a goal possession for Monmouth. It's just rough to watch.
It is. It's hard to watch. I mean, they've had possession this whole game, and I mean, this second half, I mean, Monmouth has definitely let them have a lot more possession than the first.
Monmouth is definitely relying on their defense, and with good reason.
Yeah, I mean, they've taken a step back. They've kind of brought back most of their defenders. They haven't been pushing to get on the counterattack as much, but this counterattack's been starting in the midfield rather than deep into the other third. So
and
I mean,
that is most definitely a penalty there on a Temple defender at this point.
Yeah, nice foul.
Yep.
I mean,
no card, but yet still a very, very nice foul.
Yeah, I mean, 8 minutes left. I'm not sure. I mean, Temple right now, there's not much going on for them. I mean, they got to find some kind of strength if they want to grab anything out of this. But Monmouth has been very comfortable with the ball. They're not pushing too forward with it. They've really been staying a little bit more back, but they've really just been controlling the pace of the game at this point.
Absolutely, and if you're looking at the score bug on the screen, it says we're in the 82nd minute, which means there's a little less than 8 minutes to go here in this one. We play to 90 minutes. Here as the counterattack once for Monmouth. Great save from Riley, and then another great save from a defender. I think that's one of the fresh defenders they just brought in.
That was Diego Diaz.
Diego Diaz making a great save, and that is why you give Jaden Jackson a rest, because fresh legs are able to make that happen.
Hey, Jaden Jackson-esque save there from Diego Diaz. I mean, that would have been a great, like a hard shot by the Monmouth attacker, saved by Flannan Riley. The rebound goes straight to another Monmouth attacker, and Diego Diaz able to get a foot in and kind of get a deflection there, get the ball away from him, and stop a third goal opportunity.
Here comes the counterattack once more. It's been working for Monmouth all game. And this game is far from over. There's less than 7 minutes to go here. Temple's got to make something happen. But looking back on this game, I feel like there's been 5 really good counterattacks from Monmouth that could have ended up in a goal from each one.
Yeah, I mean, they've been getting a few more of them out of nowhere this second half. I mean, it's clearly been a great and a key part of their game, and they've taken great advantage of it. And it's gotten to the point where they are now. 6 minutes left in the game and a 2-0 lead.
Yep, 2-0 like Patty said, and that is a pass to around midfield. Monmouth just pretty much controlling it in their own field right now.
Yeah, they're taking the Temple role now, trying to dominate possession a little bit.
It's like the role sort of flipped from the first couple minutes of the game in the first half.
A little bit.
And now Monmouth playing this conservative type, bring it up, pass it back and forth defense.
Except they're looking for chances.
Exactly.
It's funny. This is probably what Temple should be doing right now. Maybe Monmouth is probably executing it at a better capability than Temple could have, but this kind of tempo and kind of planning and technique is what Temple need to be doing. And now they're just flat-footed. They know this game. Looking at the Temple players, it seems like they know this game is over.
Pretty much, which is not a great mindset to have. But like you were saying, Patty, I think Monmouth is just executing what would have been Temple's game plan better.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a sad way to get your first loss for Temple. I mean, I don't want to call anything too early. We do have 6 minutes left, but
anything could happen.
Anything could happen. But yeah, I mean, they got off to such a great I don't know how great of a start you want to call 1-1, but when you started last season with 8 losses or with 8 games, 5 losses and 3 ties, then starting off with a draw and a win is a very good start.
It is, yeah, and then a loss definitely would hurt them in the standings. It will definitely hurt, but standings you're not really looking at here early into the season. But I think that play was a great example of what Monmouth is trying to do. They had a corner, and then instead of taking it, they just pass it off and then hope to try to bait out another corner from Temple.
Yeah, I mean, that's been growing a little bit in the game of soccer recently. The kind of game plans from the corner rather than just booting it in the box.
Okay.
Trying to draw defenders, maybe get a nicer line and have defenders less prepared to try and offside trap any players. So.
Great defensive trap there from Temple as well. As now Temple looking to counterattack here. Rushing it up, they have a man, it's number 15, who is on the attack, but it ends up going
just a little too much on it.
And it's going to be a goalkeeper kick once again.
Yeah, and it's for Temple. I think this game has made them learn a lot of things, mainly about their
attack, I would say.
Very well, and their defense.
Yeah, their defense honestly has been holding strong. Besides, they definitely need to work on the counterattacks.
This hasn't been a game of multiple. At least for the most part, I wouldn't say this game has been for Temple's defense. They haven't been repeatedly exposed. First half was a great half for the defense. They just got unlucky on that counterattack, and that was the only shot on target for Monmouth coming into the second half. And now going into this half, they have 4 shots on target, and they have another goal. And they've been getting a lot of more counterattacking opportunities. And you can blame that on Temple because one goal down, they definitely went with a more offensive mindset, and that could have affected the shape of the defense and kind of exposed them to that wing attack. But overall, for Temple, they have to understand the effects that changing up this defense and overloading the attack can happen. The overuse of that crossing technique and overusing that right-hand side with Xavier Rimple.
Absolutely. I think this is a great learning experience here for Temple. It's not over yet, but if they were to lose this game, which is starting to look like they might, the body language from the players seem to be like they're getting tired. And I think this is definitely a great slap on the wrist to show them that their game plan definitely has to change in the future.
Yeah, and it's definitely a slap on the wrist to kind of realize them that they're not far from their performance last season. They're not this brand new team just yet. I mean,
your core players are still the players that were here last year, and last year did not go the way they wanted to.
Yeah, and I mean, when you start off a season with no wins, 5 losses, and 3 draws, there's a lot to move up from. So starting off this year with a win, a draw, and potentially a loss, I mean, obviously there's no need to be this negative. I mean, all hope is not lost, but it definitely is a bit of a wake-up call for this Temple team.
Absolutely. It definitely changes the locker room. What's going on in the locker room emotionally and mentally is already different from the start of last season. They're already off to a better start, which shows them that they can compete. It just matters if they're allowed to change their game plan against certain teams to allow them to compete.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of game planning before new opponents is going to be important. Understanding what you're coming up against, and also having a backup plan. That's
Absolutely.
Always, I mean.
And I think that's the one thing that it seemed like they didn't have in this game. I don't really see a backup plan that worked, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the major backup plan was definitely focusing heavy on the right side.
Yes.
I mean, we saw Rocco move up a lot more.
And it looks like they are giving some backup players a chance to play, because I don't see Xavier Rimple out there anymore.
No, he's not in anymore. I mean, right now on the field we have Elliot Rigbert. We have
Edgar Bazan is taking Rimple's
Edgar
role,
Bazan. I mean, definitely. I mean, and especially with Jaden Jackson, he's now off the field, and with Diego Diaz replacing him. So
I definitely like to see Kamali Green in there the entire game, though. He's definitely the leader on this team because he's been here the longest, and he's played what seems like every single minute here in this game today, which I do really like for a leader to step up and take those minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate with the mistake he had earlier to cause that second goal, but yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of the more experienced players of this team, and it's always good to have a figurehead for this defense. And a little getting away with that call there.
Yeah, but also the refs are just letting them play because, let's be face it, they want to go home.
The ref wants to go home, is for certain.
They're not calling
another
that one
foul.
either, but they're just letting them play. As now there's an attack here from Temple. Maybe can get a garbage time goal, but that might not even be it, as that was aiming towards the top left corner, and there's just a little bit too much mustard on that one.
Well struck.
Wow.
Just a little bit, maybe a little bit high. Couldn't tell from this angle. Definitely too left. Great. I mean, well struck ball.
I
just not on target.
If Temple was able to score that, there is a hope still. But I think with that miss, I think all hopes have almost died here.
I mean, there's 15 seconds left. How much more hope could you have?
Exactly. There was 30 seconds left on the clock when that shot was taken, and now we're just counting down the seconds for the first Temple loss of the season. Patty, tell me why this wasn't as bad of a loss as it seems.
Well, I mean, I can't tell you that it wasn't a bad loss in all certainty. I mean, it was. Temple had. I think this goes back to a point I made very early on in this game. That is, Temple is very much a first half team.
Absolutely.
They scored their only goal against Army in the first half. They scored 2 goals against Villanova in the first half. Second half in that Nova game, they only scored a penalty. So all those goals from open play are coming in the first half, and we clearly saw a dip off in Temple performance in that second half. So, I mean, we're either going to need to see stronger first halves going forward, or just a lot more from Temple in these second halves.
Absolutely, and this is when we start to die down and break down the rest of the game. Thank you so much for listening to us. We will have a breakdown posted on Twitter right after this, explaining what Temple did well, what Temple did wrong, and as well what Monmouth did well and what Monmouth could improve on. Thank you guys so much for listening to WHIP Radio on YouTube. I am your host, Jay Kolshauer, alongside Patty Heckard, and thank you so much for tuning in to the first stream of the semester. Patty, any closing words?
I mean, it's not how I wanted to start my commentary career, but I'm excited for things to come, as well as for Temple men's soccer.
Absolutely. I believe the next game, can we pull up the next game to see which game we will be broadcasting, because I will not be here, and I believe you won't be here either. I think it would be two.
No,
new
that is
people.
true. The next game that Temple will be broadcasting is against Penn on September 6th.
And you will hear from two new voices, not us. It will be Chris Borgia and I believe Danny Gonzalez.
Not Danny Gonzalez.
As Patty is looking up, thank you so much for listening in. We won't be here next time, but I believe we have a few more games this season scheduled with us. So as Patty takes a look
Danny
at
Mesquita.
that, Danny Mesquita, sorry so much for that. Danny Mesquita and Chris Borgia will be taking over the next game. Thank you so much for watching.